Hey fan, it's me, Aaron, and I'm here for a comic show. Mike's not here. He's at E3, but who cares? I mean, he likes video games. Video games are cool. I suck at them, and I only like things that I'm good at instantly. That's my whole life in a nutshell. But it's been the best week for comics last week. The craziest announcements. I mean, Rich Johnson, he must have an inside man there at DC just feeding this stuff. It's a wonder this guy doesn't get fired. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of rude that someone would be just constantly feeding him all this information from DC, but hey, I'm benefiting from it, so I love it. I won't look too far into it, but I'm excited about so much of this stuff. The Green Lantern stuff is just brilliant. Like, that stuff could have been the actual solicitations for September, regardless of a relaunch. And that's what I mainly care about, and a lot of this stuff is just awesome. Animal Man, yes. Swamp Thing, yes. I'm loving it. But beyond that, there's still some big question marks. Titans is the hugest question mark and the biggest problem that DC has as far as streamlining. But, you know, we'll see how that all pans out. I'm just excited to get new people into comics. And I thankfully do not have OCD, and I don't care about issue numbering, and I don't care about putting them in boxes in order and then reordering them. I don't care about that. And comics is finally going to expand past the people with OCD. That as long as we only market to people with OCD, these people are just going to be there being so like the not having any fun anymore guys and the serious business guys and all those guys don't attract new people. Those are like the fanatical, hardcore Christians. They're not attracting any new people to church. They're just like, oh God, those people, they don't seem like they're having any fun. And it's all about fun at a comic shop, and it's going to be all about fun at DC in September. Speaking of fun, Flashpoint is just pure ridiculous fun to me. Like, these characters, it's like Thomas Wayne as Batman is brilliant. And I did mention this last week because, you know, I didn't want to spoil it for people who haven't read it yet. But reading this, Joker can be one of two things. He can either be Martha or Bruce. And that's it. That's it. I don't care. Martha or Bruce. I think it's Bruce just because of the whole, like, you know, reverse Darth Vader thing. But, you know, obviously it's one or the other. Obviously, because, you know, Thomas has killed every other rogue. Why wouldn't he have killed Joker? Commissioner Gordon comes to Thomas about Joker. Why? He's not in any capacity, you know, any type of, like, police guy. And then, you know, when we actually do see Joker, he's just running his mouth about, like, who's going to be mommy and daddy and baby, trying to reenact that scene. So either the death of Bruce caused both father and mother to go on two divergent paths of, you know, crazy, or it's actually, you know, Bruce, and then that's freaking brilliant. So I love it. Emperor Aquaman, this is like, if Aquaman didn't have his super friends, not only would he not be the butt of every Family Guy joke from people's exposure to him on Super Friends, without the Justice League, he could end up like this, like a crazy dictator. Like, and when you get this again, you get the Aquaman pin. Deathstroke is set up directly against Aquaman, and, you know, he's out of, you know, looking for roads, blah, 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 but, you know, Deathstroke versus Aquaman, I'm in. You know, Deathstroke is a pirate versus Aquaman is the dictator. Citizen Cold is really cool. He's gone rogue on the rogues, but is he still, you know, a bad guy pretending to be good, or is he actually being, you know, whatever, love his sister, blah, blah, blah. And not really a spoiler because I'm not about to say who it is, but Wally is in this book, and that's awesome. And Frankenstein, basically it's Jeff Lemire from Sweet Tooth and soon Animal Man #1, and it's monsters versus Nazis. I mean, come on. I mean, that's a winning combination. Who did not get much press last week was Marvel, and, you know, whatever. I mean, DC has put them in a corner. Marvel's always said, we're the most relevant, we're the most successful, we're all this stuff, we're the hippest, and DC's, you know, the years of continuity and, you know, out of, you know, not doing stuff tied to real world stuff, and now how's Marvel going to react to this? So far, it's been pretty much silence. Deadpool, great. It's Fear Itself Deadpool, and it's by the guy from The Adventures of Dr. McNinja, which is hilarious. A lot of internet memes, a lot of just crazy funny stuff, you know. I don't even, but the editor of this book, I guess, brilliantly deduced that the Venn diagram between people that like Deadpool and people that like Dr. McNinja is almost completely overlapped. So, you know, it should be a great book. Rob Williams is having a breakout week. You know, he's done fill-in things here and there. You know, really didn't catch my attention much at all. His new take on Dakin might be good, but whatever. He has Ghost Rider, which is a complete relaunch for him, and Ghost Rider is, you know, kind of DC relaunch style. It's going to be a new character, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to be fun. But what really got me was this Iron Age. Basically like another Iron Man book. It's, you know, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. But it just grabbed me with the characterization between Tony Stark showboating and Luke Cage, and what Luke Cage feels about Tony Stark in response to the whole Registration Act and everything. Something that was never touched on by Bendis or any other writer. Just that bit of characterization. That has my attention. Rob Williams has my attention. And when you read that, it'll ring true to you, and you'll be like, oh, wow, that's cool. Why didn't Bendis think of that? And Death of Spider-Man, this is the penultimate issue. Next one's going to be the huge, you know, polybag craziness, Death of Spider-Man. This one has me really thinking that, you know, this is a huge spoiler, and I'm sorry, but you're just going to get it. When Spider-Man dies in front of Aunt May's eyes, obviously, because that's the most emotional it could possibly be. So when Spider-Man dies in front of Aunt May, it's basically like a new Punisher origin, and Aunt May is going to be the Punisher of the Ultimate Universe. Because, you know, we don't need an exact copy of the Punisher, so Aunt May as Punisher, that's going to be great. I can't wait. In Indie Comics, we have my favorite book, Morning Glories, best new book out there. We have the creators here, and this one is part of this second arc, which is all the protagonists having their single issue characterization flashbacks, what makes them tick, and this one is Jade, who is insane. And part of her being insane is she kind of, I think, is seeing a lot of the Morning Glories machinations for what they are, and then us as the readers can see them as what they are, or maybe not because she's insane. So Nick Spencer can still play close to the vest and reveal stuff at the same time, and just, you know, have me so befuddled, but he's just such a charming man that, you know, it comes off in the writing. And for you guys, August is volume 2 of Morning Glories for the people waiting, and it's all going to be single issue stories almost of each different character of the 6 different protagonists and their flashbacks, what makes them tick, blah, 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 their take on the institution. And finally, Caligula, David Lapham from Crossed. It's disgusting. It's lots of crazy sex, homosexuality, incest, rape, maybe even bestiality. I was, you know, reading it and I threw up, and then I went back to it and I flipped through it. I saw some kind of talking horse, and I don't know if I can bring myself to read the end because I think someone's going to have sex with that talking horse. But that's it. And now that you saw this whole boring-ass monologue, you can see why, though Mike doesn't say anything and he's basically like a perverted Forrest Gump, that he's kind of necessary. So thanks, bye-bye.